Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny and this is another episode of Friday Sews. I'm on a bit of a roll with the Friday Sews, but not so much of a roll with the videos in general. So anyways, before we get too far into it, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who commented on my last video. I had so many really wonderful supportive comments. Most of you said things like, you know, I spend a lot of money on patterns, but it's all that A, it's like my creative outlet, and B, I do something that's helpful for other people. You guys had a lot of ways of making me feel much better about my pattern purchases. I do actually feel really strongly about supporting independent designers, so in all honesty, even though I feel like I do spend too much on patterns, I don't really feel that bad about spending money with those people. I really feel, like I said, I just feel really strongly about supporting small businesses and other sewists. So I thank you guys for all your support, because it made me realize that I do really feel good about that. And in the big picture, like one of you said, I could be spending the money on candy bars, and I'm not, so that's a much healthier choice in our opinion. Let's see. I had a couple of others. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Grace and Karen both actually added up or guesstimated at their total pattern purchases and left their amounts in the comments, and I was really impressed that you guys would do that. So I'm not going to say here how much you guys spent, but A, it made me feel better, and B, thanks for doing that. I really do appreciate it. Soxy Mama told a little story in the comments about how she had been shopping at some point, and the sewing patterns were $2.50, and the women who were shopping in the same store with her, this was years ago obviously, the women who were shopping in the same store with her were saying they couldn't believe patterns were $2.50. They could remember when patterns were 50 cents, which is a total crack up. I do not remember when patterns were 50 cents like at the store, like as opposed, I mean obviously like you could get 50-cent patterns at like the thrift store or something now. But I mean, when the retail price was 50 cents, that I don't remember. I am pretty sure I remember when they were $2.50 or $3. When I first started sewing in like 1977, 76, like around there somewhere. I remember a specific, I want to say it was a McCall's dress pattern that had like a square yoke and like a butterfly sleeve, and yeah, I'm almost sure that was $3. I say that because I think I still have the pattern, so I could probably go look it up. Anyways, okay, so what else do I have to tell you guys about today? I have not been doing a ton of sewing, which explains kind of why I haven't been doing a ton of videos, because I really like to talk to you guys about my my projects. And since January, I really put a limit on how much I was going to sew every month. I've been pretty good about it. I mean, I'm going to say my goal was to sew only 2 items a month. I've probably been at 3. You know what? I'm not going to do it anymore though, you guys, because it's really, I feel really stifled. Yeah. I really need to make things to keep my mind busy, and like I come up with so many ideas for me to not try to work them out physically. Is just, I find it really frustrating. So I made it 2.5 months trying to stick to my goal. Now what I will say is I am going to continue to try to be more mindful about what I'm making, so that I don't just make things to make things. I'm going to focus really hard on picking colors and fabrics that I like, and making things that I really believe I will use. So that said, I did make a few things in the last few weeks, and I'm gonna, again, as usual, I'm gonna look at my phone so I can tell you what these pictures are. The first thing I'm gonna show you here is I don't know if you remember this pattern. It's called the Fatinia, I think. And it is from a company called Fibre and Cloth. Now, originally, I was going to make this dress out of linen, and I think I will probably still make it out of linen. The one I'm showing you here is actually in a polyester georgette that has like some sort of like a bubbly, crepey kind of texture to it. I loved this print and I love the drape of this fabric. I don't like this fabric, and this exactly is where I go wrong with my sewing. I should not have purchased this fabric because I don't like this fabric. But I love the print and I like the drape. I will wear this. I think it's cute. I think it's really cute for like summer. It's just that it's polyester, so I can't be too hot because I'll be sweating to death even in this. I will say in this print, you can see here in this picture, I'm wearing it over a sugar slip, a pink sugar slip. I think in the summertime, if I wear it over, I have a longer white cotton gauze slip. I think if I wear it over that, it will be fine in the summertime. I do think it's a really cute dress. You have two options for gathering this color. One is to do the way I did it in this picture here, and that's to gather really the whole thing. When you do that, you get these gathers that go into your underarm. That is intentional, so that's the way I did it on this one. You also have the option of just gathering it like from the front, so you don't have the gathers that go into the underarm. They just come down the front and in the back. I think when I do this again, I will do that and see if I like it better. I don't dislike this. I just think I might like it better with the gathers not shooting into the underarm. So the other thing is this collar, the band on this is a bias cut band, and which is fine. It's wide though, and I'm going to show you a picture here, a close-up picture of the neckline, so you can see mine has a little like bubbling like right along the edge, and I don't know if that's because it's too wide, the bias is too wide, if it wasn't cut exactly on bias, because that will also make you get wrinkles along the edge here, or if it's just a weirdo texture of this fabric. I'm not sure. I actually think that it might be the texture of this fabric. I was originally thinking the next time I make this, I would just draft a different kind of collar, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to try it again with the bias collar as is, in a fabric like in a solid plain flat weave linen that will just lay more nicely on the bias, and we'll see how that goes. I did want to tell you guys that this woman who owns this website, Fibre and Cloth, for this pattern, for the Fatinia tunic and dress, she does have a couple of hacks on her blog. I can't remember what they all are, but I know one of them is making it a button front all the way up and down. So if you like this pattern and you want to get a little more use out of your patterns, check out her blog, which I will link below, because she does have a couple of other options for working this dress, and I think she might have another pattern that you can like add on to this. I can't remember, but check that out. What she does have, I did just notice though, she has a brand new pattern. It is called, I made a note here. It is called, what is it called? Oh, it's called the Iris Blouse. It is a zero waist pattern. I don't have a very good picture of it for you. I'm going to put the one from her website up here, but go look at it. It's like sort of a square cut blouse with long sleeves that gather at the cuffs, and a necktie, and you guys know how much I love a necktie. So anyways, if you're interested, check that out. I do really like her patterns. I thought this pattern was drafted really well. I can't honestly tell you what size I made in this because I can't remember. The sizes, there are only a few sizes, and they're really generous. I was between two sizes, so I went with the smaller size, and it was perfectly fine. Yeah, and I think I really like this dress that I made, but I think I'll really like it a lot more when I make it in a linen, or even, you know, a cotton, like a cotton voile could be really nice too. I feel like with the gathering and stuff, I want it to be something light and sort of drapey, but not probably another polyester. Okay, the other thing I made was you guys will remember I was telling you about this new Nani Iro book that I got last month. And there's a pair of pants in here. And I made those this last few weeks. I made those in the fabricstore.com's like mid-weight linen. And I can't remember what color this is, but it's like a teal, blue, green. It's a color I'm always drawn to. I made no adjustments to this pattern whatsoever. I cut it and sewed it exactly as the pattern is. I want to say, yeah, I don't think I shortened it or lengthened it. I do sometimes have to lengthen the Japanese patterns, but I did not do anything on this one. You can see where the hem hits me in this one. Let me see if I can find my picture here so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this pattern is my alternative to the Arthur pants, because I feel like I get like the wider, looser leg is not as voluminous. It doesn't have as much structure because it doesn't have those seams down the front and the back. And it's a pull-on pant with an elastic waist in the back, but it still has the pleats at the front, which I do like. So there's, I'll show you a couple of pictures of the pleats here. You can see one of the pleats in the picture looks really funky, but I just took it out of the dryer, so it's wrinkled. It's not, there's nothing wrong with the pleat. I swear I didn't mess up my pleats. And it has side pockets. The pockets are made exactly the same way as the Arthur pants pockets are. Yeah, I love this pant. And to me, this is like the perfect alternative to the Arthur pant for me. Unfortunately, the only way you can get it is in this book. Again, I'll link that below for you in case anybody is interested in that. Okay, what next? My Sew Liberated Matcha top, which I made a few weeks ago. I made sort of like a wearable muslin in a pink cotton. This time, I made it in a pink cotton. Big surprise. This one, this one is like a cotton. It's a cotton double gauze with a little bit of like a almost like a textured line through it. You're not going to be able to see that in the pictures anyway. But what I did here was, so the matcha top, I'll show you a picture of the one from the Sew Liberated website. And you can see it's a split neck with a little like banded collar, gathers on the sides. It's got little patches that go on the shoulders. It's not a yoke. It's not a separate yoke. It's literally just an applied patch on either shoulder, so you can eliminate that. It comes in the long sleeve or the sleeveless versions, and it's really meant to be a top that comes like to the waist. So for mine, my original one I cut pretty much as the pattern is with the sleeves and everything. For this one, I added 12 inches because I wanted it to be longer, like tunic length. I added 12 inches and I gave it a deep hem of about 1.5 inches. Also, I really want to make this top out of this stripy linen fabric. But because it's stripes and they're horizontal stripes, I don't want to have a seam up the middle of the center front, which this pattern does. I don't want to do that because it's too hard for me to try to get these spaced evenly if I have to sew a seam up the middle. It never looks right, and then it always bugs me. So what I did on this one was I cut the front on the fold, and then I made a little facing for the opening. And in this case, I flipped my facing to the front so you could see it because I used a contrast fabric. It was a little bit tricky, I will say, especially getting the point. But I think it came out pretty well. And if you guys are interested in seeing how I did that, let me know below. And I was thinking about doing that as a tutorial for next week. So let me know if you're interested in that. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. Those Nani Iro pants, yeah, so you can really only get them in this book. However, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments, because I can show you really easily how to adapt the free Tina Gibbons Plinka pant pattern, which almost all of us have at this point, to be almost exactly that same pant. If you're interested, like I said, leave me a comment below and we'll work on that. Okay, back to my matcha top. So I do really like this top, but I'm going to show you a picture of the collar close up. And you can see here where I'm pointing in this picture, it lays funny. I don't like the way that it lays there. Now, to be fair, this is a picture from the Sew Liberated website, and it does close to the same thing. So it's probably just the way the pattern is. But for me, I think I'm going to shorten just the front edge. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off the front edge, just at the edge, and then taper it back up into the collar right away. And hopefully that will make that lay a little flatter. So that's what I'm going to do with this linen fabric. I'm going to make it again in this. I'm going to adjust that front collar, and I'm going to do the placket again because, like I said, I do not want to try to match up that stripe. No. So, okay. Oh my God, I almost forgot. The last thing I've been working on, that I've been talking about for months. So, the good thing about not doing a ton of sewing is I had time to get started on this lovely lady. This is my Lichen Duster from Sew Liberated, and this fabric is a heavyweight linen rayon blend that I got from Haberman Fabrics. And so far I'm loving this. It has been like a real labor of love. This is not like a super quick make, although it is very satisfying. I did a lot of flat filled seams, and then I'll show you a close-up picture here. I did a lot of Hong Kong finishes on the inside. All I really have left to do is, my facings are in, but they're not sewn down yet, so I have to finish the facings, and then obviously I have to put the sleeves on, and I have to hem it. The only thing that was really, I mean, it's a lot of work because there are a lot of pieces, and there's a lot of finishing going on. Now, if you used a serger and finished all your seams with a serger, it would be a lot quicker. I just chose not to do that on this particular one. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. This this rayon linen is really frayish, so it's okay on the curved lines because it's on the bias, but where it's cut on the straight, it frays like crazy. And I was really thinking I would rather have just more secure seams on this one since it's heavier and the fabric frays pretty easily. I was afraid just like the weight of the fabric would make it pull apart more easily. So that's why I chose to go ahead and do like the Hong Kong and flat felled seams. If you don't do those, this project would not take nearly this long. The only thing that was really tricky is this lapel wraps around to the back and gets sewn together at the center back, the collar does. And then you sew this whole thing, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. You sew this part of the collar and this part of the shoulder at the same time. So you sew the facing onto the shoulder, around the collar, and down the other shoulder. And that is pretty tricky. I'm going to show you a picture here how mine came out. I'm pretty happy with it. I did have to undo one corner and redo it, but in the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with that. Now this pattern has marks on the facing, on both the facing and the collar piece for where you're supposed to line up these corners, but those marks are not on the coat piece, so you don't have anything to match them up to. What I ended up doing was just matching up my shoulder seams first on both sides. Oops, she fell. Sorry. She's very old. What I did was I did the shoulder seams first, and then I didn't sew them. I just matched them up, and then I matched this edge to the edge of the coat once I had the shoulder seams matched. And I think what's deceiving is there's a seam right here on the front, so your corner is not, I mean, it doesn't match up with that seam, which it kind of feels like when you're making it that something should match up to that seam. It doesn't. That seam is just like a totally different thing. Anyways. Oh my god. Okay, so that's it for her. What else? Oh, I will say, Okay. Aside from my sewing, I did make a couple of purchases this past few weeks. I purchased 2 patterns from Elbe Textiles, the Fremantle pants, which I'll put a picture of right here, and the page dress, which is, like, the Fremantle pants I thought would be really good summer, like, slimmer leg pants. And I don't really have a pattern for something like that, so, I mean, I could alter something, and it's probably close to the pants, but I like this pant, so I thought I would give it a try. I've looked at it online. I've seen it on both men and women, and I do really like it. So I got that, and then I also got the page dress, which looks like there are 2 different versions. The one is just like a straight shift. The other one is this one that I'm showing you here, which is cut wider and just has a bunch of pleats up the front, which I really love. And the reason I got that was because, I shouldn't say that. I can't remember if I got the fabric first or the pattern first. But I found this lovely double gauze from Emma Onesock. And even though I said I was going to try to sew my colors, white is not one of my colors, but all these dots are. So she actually calls this something, I can't remember what she calls this on the Emma Onesock site. I'll look it up. But anyways, I'm going to link to this. They do have this fabric in a couple of other prints. So I'll just leave a link to this category of her stuff down below. I have to tell you guys. Okay, so this is, she just called it something else. It feels like double gauze. However, I will say this is much more fine than most double gauze. So it's a little more tightly woven. It is a double layer. It's a little solid white on the back. The print is on the front. Yeah, it's a little bit more fine than a typical double gauze. I love this fabric. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to use for my Elbe Textiles page dress. Really, really excited to make this. I think this will be great for the summer. It'll be light as air and so cute. My light is a little funky today, so I'm hoping you guys can see that. Yeah. Like I said, I'll leave a link to that. Also, Haberman Fabrics just got a ton of new linens in Wednesday. They weren't priced yet, so I couldn't buy any, but I will definitely be looking at those. I'm going to make, I think I'm going to make the Fremantle pants out of one of those solid linens. And I'm going to make my Flatinia dress again, and I'm going to make that out of one of the new solid linens. Maybe like a minty green. They have like a minty green. I think it's kind of a minty green. It's like a shamrock shake green. Yeah, it's a shamrock shake green. Yeah. So anyways, that is what I will be working on. Like I said a little earlier, I have not been sewing that much the last few months because I sort of put myself on that little sewing diet, which is really, you may have noticed, cut down on my videos altogether because like I said before, if I'm not sewing, I don't have very much to talk about. I know, it's sad, right? But I'm going to try to get back to my once a week videos because I'm really missing them. So hopefully next week we'll be doing a little tutorial of some sort. But I'll be here, tutorial or not. So until then, thank you all so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I cannot tell you how much all of those comments meant to me. Like, they really meant the world to me that you guys were so incredibly supportive. I really do. I appreciate that too. All right, so that's it. Until next week, happy sewing and peace.